Now let's move on to the actual coding. If you remember from the previous video where we talked about the intuition behind the stack, I said using a stack may not be the optimal solution. So why is that? In this case, if you are given a input string that looks like this, your final result should be ABC, right? Now, if you are using a stack, and presumably you are using a stack data structure inside a language that give you stack. Let's visualize what the stack will look like if you actually use the stack. So when our code runs into here, we push A, runs into here, we push B, runs into here, we push C, then we stay there, do nothing. So this is what our stack looks like after the iteration. Now the reason why using a plain and naive stack is not good is because our result is ABC. We do not get the result from the stack immediately. We have to use a while loop to pop every element out of the stack. And while we are popping, we need to declare a separate variable in order to store them. Be it a string or an array, we need a separate variable. And when we are storing them, they will be in the wrong direction, right? Because we are popping from the top, we got CBA, right? But our desired result is ABC, which is from bottom to the top. You see, we want bottom to the top, but we get top to bottom. So you need to reverse it. Now, due to all these reasons, let's just not use a stack at all. Let's instead use an array to simulate a stack. Why? Because array pushing and popping behaves the same as a stack. So you push A, you push B, you push C, you stay there, voila. You get the final result, right? So let's use a array, let's call it V. Now, given a input string, let's use a slightly more complicated example. So this should give you if your input looks like this, you should get A, because .dir is a valid directory, then you stay there and you pop .dir, so you get A. So let's use this as a test case. Now, what shall we do in order to extract all these elements or tokens that are living in between these double slashes? One function that immediately comes to mind is split, right? If you are using Python or JavaScript. Now in C++, the equivalent of that is string stream and getLine. So do not be scared if you are not familiar with C++. All I'm doing is the same as split. So let's split by slash. So let's print out what this code actually does. In order to make printing more explicit, I am adding the guard to make the token more explicit and see what is exactly printed. All right, as you can see, a dot dir dot dot dot, these are expected. Now, just to make it more explicit, let's make input have to be something like this. All right, the first and the last are empty string. Why is that? Because there's nothing on the left of root, right? So when you are splitting, you get empty. And there's nothing in between these two slashes, so you get empty as well. That's why when we are dealing with this token, we need to deal with the case where token is an empty string. So if token is empty or token is a single dot, we do nothing, right? Else we push when we are not double dot, right? So we push. Else, meaning we are double dot. But we need to check if it's not empty. Then we pop. Right. So let's print out the content inside V after this while loop. Okay, so our vector only has A, right? Because .dir is a directory in state at the pop, so this should be correct. Then all we need to do is to generate the result. So let's declare the result as res. Now our result will look like a slash plus token. Now in the case where there's nothing inside V, we need to handle that as well. Right, so I believe this will pass. Okay, what am I doing? Okay, so it looks correct. Let's tidy up the code and preparing to submit. You can squeeze out some performance by doing reference because you are avoiding copies. Okay, so this will pass. Let's move on to JavaScript. In JavaScript, since we are using an array to simulate a stack, let's make the stack an array, and we are splitting by slash. Now This E is each element that is living in between the double slashes. Now if E is double dot, we need to pop. Else, if E is not dot or E is not empty string, stack dot push E. Let's just console log what stack looks like. By the way, you can pop a stack. You can pop an empty array because it will just return undefined. It's not an error. Okay. Let's look like what this will log. Okay, I need to use end. Okay, this looks correct. Let's generate the final result by using template string. You always have root, then followed by elements that we can get from stack.join. Okay, just to make sure. All right, let's submit and see if it's all right. So that's it.